Marie Curie's discoveries led to many progressions in her own time period, but her legacy continued to improve many aspects of the world, even after she died. Her discovery of radium and the fact that radioactivity is an atomic process allowed for progressions in the medical science and war fields. Marie Curie spent most of her life focusing on radiology and science and made vast improvements to the scientific community as well as empowering women to do more than society thought they were capable of. Being a woman, she faced certain difficulties that male scientists did not have to face. During this time period, there is many gender stereotypes towards women in a negative way. According to Isabella Crespi, a woman who studies gender and roles during this time period, women were typically not scientists during this time period. Women were not viewed as valuable components in society to better the world. There is much discrimination, and most of the scientific community did not accept Marie Curie and her ideas at first due to her gender. At the beginning of her career, she attempted to attend the University of Warsaw to get a degree, but women were not allowed to attend the school. Mary had to enroll in an illegal night school called the Floating University because the location of the classes changes regularly. According to NNDB, Mary and her sister, Bronya, took charge of the situation and made a plan to work and save money so that they could travel west and go to a university. Mary then went to Sorbonne in Paris and graduated with her master's degree in math and physics after working very hard. Marie Curie showed her leadership skills by the way that she never gave up and worked hard to achieve her goals, even though society looked down at her for being a woman and did not think that she could achieve anything.
Later in her career, once Marie had already made a name for herself and made the discovery of radium and polonium, her husband, Pierre, was nominated for a Nobel Prize. NobelPrize.org says Marie was the person who made the major discoveries and had been working on radiology for longer than her husband, but he was the one who was being nominated because he was a man. However, Pierre was able to send a letter to the nominating committee and persuade them to allow Marie to be nominated. If it weren't for her husband's help, all of Marie's hard work would have been credited to someone else. The sexist discrimination against Marie almost cost her one of her biggest accomplishments, but she was able to work through it and earn what she deserved. In 1910, Marie was a candidate for a seat in the highly esteemed Society of the French Academy of Sciences. Because no women had previously been a part of the FAS, many people did not support her and in turn started rumors that she was Jewish, making her ineligible for the position. The American Institute of Physics says that this rumor was false, however it did cause damage to her reputation and made her lose the vote, which would have inducted her into the FAS. The media continued to follow her, and soon rumors started that she had had an affair with fellow scientist and friend Paul Langevin. Newspapers called her a homewrecker, and some dared to say that this affair had started previous to her husband's death. In a letter from Albert Einstein to Curie, he writes, "If the rabble continues to concern itself with you, then simply don't read that hogwash, but rather leave it to the reptile for whom it has been fabricated." Einstein used his noble reputation to stick up for Curie and to deflect some of the hateful stories about her. Along with the accomplishments of receiving not one, but 2 Nobel Prizes and discovering the elements of polonium and radium, she helped enhance medical technology in World War I. She is a great example for women everywhere because although her time period did not allow women to be as recognized as men, she pushed through the stereotypes and was able to prove herself an incredible scientist. She was the first, and continues to be, the only woman to ever have their remains buried in the Pantheon in Paris, the home of some of science's most incredible minds.
During Marie Curie's legacy, she discovered a monumental breakthrough: 2 new elements, radium and polonium. William Roentgen discovered a new kind of radiation, a ray that could travel through solid wood or flesh. This is now known as the X-ray. When this was discovered and shared with the scientific community, it sparked Mary's interest. According to NobelPrize.org, Henry Becquerel studied uranium and found a new radiation that could pass through metal foil and a darkened photographic plate. These 2 scientists and their studies helped to continue Mary's study of radiation. Marie Curie then decided to focus specifically on uranium rays during her studies. According to the American Institute of Physics, Mary tested all the known elements in order to determine if other elements or minerals would make air conduct electricity better or if uranium alone could do this. The American Institute of Physics states, in April of 1898, her research revealed that thorium compounds, like those of uranium, emit Becquerel rays. Again, the mission appeared to be an atomic property. To describe the behavior of uranium and thorium, she invented the word radioactivity, based on the Latin word for ray. Before Perry joined Mary, he created an electrometer. According to the American Institute of Physics, this technology helped measure the radioactivity of elements and their electrical currents. Marie Curie thought there were some undiscovered radioactive elements due to the high radioactive nature of uranium. Marie then discovered the new elements radium and polonium by measuring and comparing the radioactivity of other existing elements. Marie and Pierre Curie separated and isolated unknown substances and tested the radioactivity with the electrometer and found a new element, radium. Although Mary discovered polonium, she was unable to isolate it.
The radium she discovered was put to use in X-rays, which were created by Wilhelm Röntgen, allowing soldiers in war to be treated more efficiently because doctors now knew what was going on under the skin. Also, radioactivity led to the creation of pacemakers, allowing people with heart conditions to survive for longer. Pacemakers and X-rays continue to help doctors and patients today. Radiation therapy is also a life-saving treatment for cancer. Millions of cancer patients have been saved or given a longer time to live because of radiation therapy, which all started with the discovery of radium led by Marie Curie. It is one of the most effective treatments for cancer and has increased the quality of life for millions of people all around the world. Currently improving the lives of cancer patients, there is a Marie Curie Cancer Care Foundation, which provides care, guidance, and support for terminally ill patients. According to MarieCurieCancerCare.org, this organization was named after her because of her involvement in treating people with cancer and her impacts in the medical field.
Marie Curie's legacy did not only consist of discovering radium and polonium, but using her radiation breakthroughs to help people in need. During World War I, there was a lack of modern medical care. Marie proceeded to invent radiology vehicles. According to the American Institute of Physics, each vehicle carried portable fluoroscopes, X-ray units, and dark rooms to medical tents in nearby hospitals. The new technology of X-rays was extremely useful to help the soldiers fighting in the war. These units helped them recover and become healthy once again, because they could help see broken bones and bullets inside their bodies. The first 20 radiology vehicles were ready by the end of October in 1914. Mary then convinced the government to empower her to set up France's first military radiology centers. She created programs to train physicians and technicians to operate these units. Mary and her daughter Irene could not maintain and run 20 mobile X-ray stations and 200 stationary units by themselves. The American Institute of Physics states by 1916 Mary began to train women as radiological assistants by offering courses in the necessary techniques at the Radium Institute. After the war ended in 1918, Mary continued to help and educate people during the spring of 1919. She offered radiology courses to a group of American soldiers who remained in France while awaiting passages home.
One of the greatest legacies of Marie Curie was her funding and building of the Radium Institute, also known as the Curie Institute. It was built in honor of the late Pierre Curie. She toured through the United States in search of donations for her institute. With the help of donations and other campaigns, Curie was able to create one of the most expensive and fully equipped labs in the world. She dedicated the institute to one subject, radioactivity, and here began the intense research that led to all we know about radioactivity today. She invited foreigners and women and all types of hardworking people to study at her institute, where together they published 483 works. 31 of these were books or papers written by Curie herself. L. Pierce Williams, a decorated professor at Cornell University and writer for Encyclopedia Americana, says, "The result of Curie's work was epoch-making. Radium's radioactivity was so great that it could not be ignored. It seemed to contradict the principle of the conservation of energy, and therefore forced a reconsideration of the foundations of physics. On the experimental level, the discovery of radium provided men like Ernest Rutherford with sources of radioactivity with which they could probe the structure of the atom. As a result of Rutherford's experiments with alpha radiation, the nuclear atom was first postulated. In medicine, the radioactivity of radium appeared to offer a means by which cancer could be successfully attacked.